A very warm welcome in the first module of week 2 of the course Entrepreneurship and IP Strategy, titled Innovation, Invention and Creativity. In earlier module, we have given you little idea about entrepreneurship and its relation with IP. Now, in this week, we will see the linkage between innovation and IP. To start, we will try to understand what is innovation, what is invention and what is creativity, and how these three play a role in entrepreneurship. You use word jugaad many times. This is like a mostly every student is using, and you do jugaad for many things. So, jugaad is innovation. I will say innovation is much more than the term jugaad. So, whenever you are using that jugaad word for a greater kind of, or a, what we can say, the innovation, be careful. Sometimes people may not accept that jugaad word for the innovation whatever they have created. So, it is a very serious activity. Innovation is a very serious activity. Organizations are investing lot of funds for a innovation process. So, in big organization they follow systematic processes for innovation. So, never relate jugaad with innovation in a very casual way, but yeah, this is a very common word in student that I completely accept. So, it is one way, but there is lot of difference, and I wish you to appreciate that difference between these two words. We will go little bit scientific and research background about these terminologies in a short while, this invention, innovation and creativity, because these words are very commonly used in day to day life. Whatever the sociological research is talking about this innovation, invention and creativity, that also we will look into, and little bit aspect of what we can say invention, which is described in a patent law, because there they have given you the clear cut definition of a invention, what we can say the definition which examiners follow when they will check your invention for a patent when a grant. So, at that time they will look into that definition, that also we will look into little bit about that. I will give you the information. So, first question is whether innovation, invention and creativity are same. Yes. So, I am hearing that you are saying answer no. So, if you are saying no, that these three things are not same, or these three terminologies are not same, then what is the difference between innovation, invention and creativity? So, can you jot down quickly 2 or 3 differentiating points between invention, innovation and creativity quickly? Okay. So, let us check your differentiating points, and whatever I am covering in this session in next 30 minutes, we will just check. Probably I will miss you a few points whatever you are explaining because of time limit and all, but what I will suggest that we have to whatever your points are there, I will suggest you that at the end, if I will not cover that points, I will suggest you that write down in the discussion forum that okay, these are the few points that 1, 2, 3, and we can discuss it more about that points whatever you are stating in the discussion forum. So, we will go into that scientific and management and then entrepreneur and then IP related aspects of this invention, innovation, creativity. So, as per literature, if you see literature in 2014 survey, if you see innovation, can you imagine how many definitions are given? 40 definitions. So, and probably you may have, along with that 40 definition, you yourself will have your own definition of invention, innovation and creativity. So, this research analysis about the innovation, there are what we can say they have done the analysis, and they have given the definition. I will share one of the definitions. So, here they say that in modern meaning, that what is the modern meaning of innovation? A new idea, a creative thought, new imaginations. This may be in the form of device or method. So, they are limiting it to device and method. There may be many things, it should not be limited to device and method, that is what I feel. But what that modern meaning of innovation is like a new idea, creative thoughts, new imaginations, and the output is like a device or method. So, it is a application of a better solutions. Now, these solutions are for solving new requirements, solving needs, and to give a better solution for current market needs. So, if you see innovations, they are just solving whatever new requirement are, what are your needs, and they are giving you better solution. There is a solution, but they will give you further very efficient solution to resolve any whatever the activity you are doing. I will not say problem, but there are some activities that will be made very smoothly by that particular innovation, right. So, solution you may observe in the form of more effective products or more effective processes, services, very efficient services, new technologies, or very different business model. And you will like very happy if you see that different kind of a business model is there, or that new technology, or you will like, oh, satisfied with that technology, oh, solving this, or it is you will say that, oh, this is handling this particular activity very smoothly, something like that. Simple example I can give, every time whenever you are opening a Google, right, that so innovative ways they are like applying, and you immediately adapt to that whatever the offerings are there from Google. So, it is nothing but an innovation only, and you get immediately adapted to that innovations, because that particular offering is smoothly doing that particular activity which you are doing, and it may be saving time, or it may giving you some value addition is there. So, the solutions are generally, if you see that solution, who is using that solutions, whatever solutions you are getting out of innovation, who are using that solution, either governments or a society, or a, yeah, when I say society, obviously individuals are part of a society. So, an innovation is something original and more effective, it is expected, and yes, if more innovation is original, that can be patented, right. So, something new that is break into the market or a society. So, what do you say about Uber and Ola? This is a very good innovation of giving you a taxi service, or Make My Trip, a very easy way for booking tickets. You can compare and you can immediately do the booking, and they are keeping your history. So, sometimes you delete emails, but from the email that Make My Trip account, you can just check the past history. Swiggy, you are well aware about that. Then recently you probably might have seen Autowala. He is like making partition in the auto, so that post COVID people can use his auto, and there is a social distancing achieved by partitioning that auto. Don't you think that is an innovation? Or you can see that Starbucks, if you have visited Starbucks, you see that they are not only giving you coffee or some snacks, they are giving you free internet service. So, that is one of the way, this is you can say it as a business model, but it is an innovative way to cater what we can say the customer. So, all these innovations you are very well aware about. Then McDonald's, they are giving you option like drive through. So, it is like a very innovative way for they appreciate that, okay, you probably are very busy, you may not have that time, and you can just go through, give order, take the parcel, and you just go with that parcel. So, what is all this? It is all like a innovation only. So, in a industrial survey of how the software, I am now coming to little bit what we can say scientific definition, or how a software industry is defining innovation. Just check that particular thing, how research people means research scholar, or when a serious research goes, how that definition comes. The following definition is given by Crossan and Appedim. Now, if you see that definition is approved by OECD. So, what is OECD? Do you know? Yeah, if you just Google what is that OECD is. So, the definition given is like this. Just be careful, listen it carefully. Innovation is a production or adoption assimilation. Production or adoption and or assimilation and exploitation of a value added novelty in economic and social spheres, renewal and enlargement of products, services, markets, development of new methods of production, and the establishment of a new management systems. It is both a process and an outcome. This is the definition. Probably you felt like a book definition in a 3 Idiot movie. I will just explain this definition. So, this definition is like innovation is a production, adoption, assimilation, anything out of that. 3 words they have given: production, adoption, assimilation. You relate your entrepreneurial activity and you just find out what it is. Is it something related to production, something related to new, something giving new offering is there, that adoption is there, assimilation is there. Okay, these 3 things. Exploitation of a value added novelty in economic and social spheres. Simply you can say that there is some addition, there is some what we can say new service, process or method or product, and that is very novel, and that is giving a economic benefit and it is helping to the society. That sentence want to say this much, that is, it is a beneficial to society, it is a very innovative way, that is it is very helpful way to do particular activity. Renewal and enlargement of product, services, markets, you can understand that thing. Development of new methods production, okay, and then the establishment of new management system. Sometimes what happen, innovations are in supply chain, innovations are in the stock management, self management. So, all these innovations, that is any management system, now that is it considered and their innovation occurs. So, it is both process and outcome. Outcome may be product, it may be a service. Okay. So, if I want make it short and simple and technical, can I say a technological change new to both enterprise and the economy. So, you can see here in the screen that a technological change new to both enterprise and the economy, a change that has diffused into the economy and is adopted by the firm. So, can you just understand that thing, what is there, that simple version of a definition. So, let us try to understand that what it is. That is a technological change new to both enterprise and economy. You have developed some technology. Okay. Now, sometimes the technological development may be very minor, some incremental changes there. We will see that different types of innovation. At that time, you will understand what is incremental, what is radical, that kind of innovations. But sometimes that technological innovation is very minor. But yeah, that minor change is also giving you some benefit to you, right. So, that enterprise is getting benefited, and obviously you are getting some percent benefit in the percent efficiency benefit is there in the gain also, profit also. Then a change that has diffused into the economy and is adopted by the firm. So, in a sense, like I can relate it with some technology transfer. Suppose you develop some technology, okay, and it is immediately imbibed by the complete organization. Suppose I am talking about a big organization, in R&D something innovative comes, or in the manufacturing plant something innovative comes, and it is like so easy to adopt that in a short time that particular innovation it is accepted by the organization and completely change the processes related to that particular activity. So, that adoption is very important actually. So, when you are talking about the entrepreneurial activity, whatever your innovation is there, it may be a very great innovation, but diffusion of that innovation is very important. We will touch upon that diffusion point in a short while. So, this technological change, it is in the enterprise and economy. Now, this diffusion that is a very important part. We will, as I have said, that we will go into the details of that particular thing. Now, for example, if I want to give an example, there may be automation, technological change, that is there may be some automation or some alternate processes there, some effective use of technologies there, and because of that some economic benefit is gained. So, there may be an increase in a profit margin. So, if there is some what we can say profit margin benefit is there, obviously organization can give many offers related to that particular product because margin is increased, and that may help for a more diffusion. That is a one effect of innovation. You may not get any IP, but that minor change which is not qualified as a IP, not qualified as a patent, but you are getting directly benefit, and probably because of that you are giving a good offering to the customer, and then you are getting a what we can say faster diffusion in the market. Okay. So, what are the sources of innovation? We are talking about innovation definition and diffusion and how innovation occur and how it is adapted, but what exactly or what are the sources? So, there are various sources of innovation. It may be a result of a focus effort, or it may be chance. you may not knowing anything, but suddenly that by chance that innovation may occur, or it may be a result of a major system failure. So, again I am giving you the little bit example of COVID only, because you are just recently passed through that COVID pandemic, that here you have observed that because of that system failure, complete failure of the complete normal processes, whatever we are thinking normal, that complete normal processes are completely affected. And as a result of that, there are so many what we can say changes happen, and you got some observed some new product, new processes or new services come into the existence. So, that is a very good example, that system failure and you are getting a new solution to handle new scenario. Okay. So, there are also chance discoveries, as already there are many chance discoveries that you may have not thought, focused thought is not there, but there may be a chance discovery. So, the simplest example is a manufacturing innovation I can give you in MSME. You know that founder is working on a one product or a one process. Suppose if you take any technology, automobile sector related hub is there, technology sector hub, and these are the hubs, like say for example Pune is a technology hub for automobile industry. So, there are vendors which are working on a same product, it may be a clutch, it may be some brake, something like that, and they are working on that same product for a longer period of time. So, maybe 20 years, 30 years, and they are the good what we can say, they are, as they are doing that activity continuously, obviously they will try to make it more efficient, and they bring lot of innovations in the processes. In big organizations, innovations are very planned, following various models of innovation. It is a very planned activity. So, MSME, it is like they are doing it continuously, and because of that innovation comes. Many times that innovations are so substantial that patent is possible. In big organizations, scenario is like when they are talking about innovation, innovation is like a dedicated team is there. It is a very planned activity with some involvement of there may be involvement of all organization in it. So, if organization is like having very good policy and strategy, most of the time all of the units are involved, and they can solve a particular selected problem. So, there is a use of various tools, techniques to achieve that innovation. There is a dedicated team which works on to that particular problem or a project and find out the solution. So, programs of organizational innovations, these are generally tightly linked with the organizational goals and objectives obviously, then a business plan, and to market what we can say a competitive position into the market. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to decide how you are keeping an innovative environment in your organization. One driver for innovation programs is a corporation is to achieve growth objectives. That is one of the obviously objective of a entrepreneur. It is very focused what we can say activity. It is not necessary that every project will be giving you positive result, that we have to remember that okay, you thought in the organization that project is dedicated some amount of finance, the budget head is decided, particular amount is poured in that particular what we can say activity. But there is a possibility that that project may completely get failed, like that is a serious failure might be there. So, there is a risk, but please note that a very innovative firm, if you consider like 3M or GE, very innovative firm these are. So, they consider failure very positively. So, they just appreciate failures, they will work on that failures, they will allow people to fail, right. Because once you allow people to fail, and if there is no penalty for that, then only it is possible in the organization that you are building up a culture of innovation. So, allow people to experiment and develop, then only the innovations come. So, this is very important to remember. Failures are good if in a what we can say they are a good driver for a further development. Then moving further, I will say that if you see the entrepreneur life cycle, I will just give you the caution that it is possible that at any point probably you are going to face this failure, and that will be a very turning point for you, because that failure will teach you so many things, and probably your what we can say firm will or your organization or your venture will move in a probably a very good what we can say with very good speed and in a very different direction. Okay. So, Now this innovation we are talking about, this may be for a process, maybe for a product, or it may be for a service, anything it may be possible. You can appreciate process, product and service. Now for example, warehouse management is there, Amazon now. If you take an example of Amazon, Flipkart, this kind of a warehouse management is a very important there. So many innovations happen there, so many what we can say inventions also and innovations. We will go into inventions later, but inventions, innovations both are occurring in warehouse management. It is the biggest what we can say process warehouse management. You just imagine, you type here sitting in the one corner of the country that particular product, and in 3 days or 4 days you receive that product in your hand, and you just imagine how exactly that complete supply chain and warehouse management is there. And if you visit sometime in the warehouse, if we go into the mall, it is very difficult for us to identify that particular product. Probably we go into that mall 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and still we struggle for finding out that particular product there. And here you can imagine warehouses like a full of so many products, but they correctly identify that, pick it up, and within time that you are receiving that product in your home. So it's a very good management, and so many innovations occur there. So this supply chain, marketing, you know innovative ways of marketing, manufacturing. Okay, so all this is like a part of innovation, that there is a continuous innovation going on in the service delivery or in the product, right. So now there is a service industry is like a what we can say, it's a flourishing like anything, and there are lot of innovative ways coming into the servicing industry. So a few examples of service industry: computer hardware, software, maintenance, restaurants, hotels, courier services are there, beauty and healthcare related services, then advertising related, publishing, education, online education is now picking up, then banking, complete online banking, communication related services, financing, insurance, chit funds, real estate, then supply of electric or other energy, right, grocery, online grocery shopping. So many like servicing, lodging, entertainment, everywhere you can see the innovation is happening. So now next is like, okay, we understood what is innovation and how exactly a research scholar is looking and how we are looking. Now what is a diffusion? We are talking about a diffusion. So diffusion of innovation, that research started long back, somewhere in the starting of 19th century in 1903, and a researcher I should mention, Gabriel, who has first plotted the S-shaped diffusion curve for the diffusion. It's a very, S curve is very common in the technology. If you see, S curve is very common. S is like a, see as a name, that S letter, you know, it's like a going from one point to this point, growing again, and then it is going on to the plateau, and everywhere you can apply S curve. It is a what we can say, you just see. So for example, if I want to say about innovation, innovation happens somewhere, then there are early movers, like everybody will not jump into that product or service and they will not try to buy and invest their money into that. But there are some what we can say in the customer also some leaders are there, that okay, they take a risk, okay, they analyze the scenario and they take what we can say risk, or they are very sure about the product. So they are the early movers are there. So your product comes into the market, that customers start buying that, then automatically that publication publicizing of your what we can say product or service will happen, and then the growth curve increases, right. And at certain point it will go into the plateau, because there are various reasons why it go into the plateau, that there may be other competition, there is like probably your services are not keeping up to the mark. So we say that S curve should be continuously growing. So once first your S curve goes to plateau level, before that your next innovation goes into the market, then that way your what we can say venture will remain very what we can say leader in that particular whatever your product or service is there, that will remain ahead of time. So probably now you appreciate what that diffusion is, right. So next is like after diffusion, what I will share with you is like a innovation process, how exactly innovation happen. So you just imagine every day you are thinking so many ideas come in your mind. So if you decide that okay, one day I will just keep watch on my ideas, then probably you can write 3-4 pages that is possible, because if that day if you think so, what we can say, extensively, probability is that you can write so many ideas, and you will be surprised that okay, I am just thinking in such a deep and I have so many ideas. But same thing happens with the innovation process. When we are talking about a organizational innovation process, as it is said, that there are various models which are followed in the organization, like Jolly model is there, or stage gate model is there. So we will just see simply how exactly that innovation process happen. You can see there's just a funnel, and it's like a 10,000 ideas. A big organization is there. So for example, big organizations like Siemens iTech, 3 lakh employees are there. Every day they are doing some or the other thing. Probability is that every day if I calculate that all 50% of that also will contribute into idea, I can have 1.5 lakh ideas. So and the organization do that idea campaigns to pick that ideas, right? So there are like a huge number of ideas come, but organization has to filter down that particular ideas, and then they will select a particular, what we can say, idea. Now once they will select the idea, what they will do, decide the path for execution of that particular innovation, and then they will follow the processes. And obviously now here I just mentioned innovation and IP, they go parallel, they are overlapping in nature, and therefore when you start innovation project, you have to map IP also at the first time only, so that execution will start, and then eventually there will be a creation of value. Creation value, the output may be in the form of a product, it may be form of a process. So I guess this is a very simple way to understand how exactly innovation process is followed in the organization. There are very systematic processes which are followed, and dedicated teams are there. Now as an entrepreneur, when you are starting, probably you have to, if you keep the very innovative culture, you may get, and you as a founder, you are thinking so much, so probably you will have idea. You have to check your objective, your offering, and we have seen that what you are going to offer, quality, feature, product, service, who is your customer, urban, rural, everything you have to decide, and then only you have to decide on the that innovation pipeline, how exactly you are going to follow. Now moving further, I guess this is good enough for you to know the innovation. Moving further, we will now concentrate on a invention. Now it is well known that necessity is a mother of invention. We always say that particular thing. Now we will see invention, you appreciate what invention is. We will see now it in an angle of a patent law. As per section 2J of Indian Patent Act 1970, invention means a new product or a process involving an inventive step and capable of an industrial application. Now please appreciate this definition. It is a product or process, means if you want to do your invention, if you want to do a patent protection, you have to qualify this particular definition, that what is said in the definition. Definition says new product and a process involving a inventive step and a capable of industrial application. So important thing is like a inventive step should be there and industrial application should be there. Now we understood this definition now as per that whatever definition as per that section 2. Now moving further, this Indian Patents Act further talks about a new invention. So new invention means any invention or a technology which has not been, just see carefully the definition. New invention means any invention or technology which has not been anticipated by publication, which is not anticipated by publication in any document or used in the country or elsewhere in the world. It is not used in the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of filing of a patent application with a complete specification, that is, the subject matter has not fallen in public domain or that it does not form part of the state of the art. Okay. So in short, what this definition is saying is like this: you have to follow novelty aspect carefully. What is novelty? Novelty is like a first time in the world. It should be not like a country or this territory. It is like a first time in the world. According to Patent Act, it should be a first time in the world. Novelty aspect is very important. Second, we have seen that industrial application is important, and then the third is like a non obviousness, but that you will see when you are dealing with a patent aspect, you will go into details of that. Now, this invention should not be a form or a part of a global state of the art, that when we are talking about a novelty, as I have mentioned, novelty is assessed in a global context. We have to remember that particular thing. It is determined through extensive literature and a patent search. So, if you want to know little bit about a patent search, I guess week 2 of a roadmap for patent creation is talking about a patent searching. So, you that first 2 lectures only. So, if you go through that, you can see how exactly this patent search or literature search, especially patent search we are talking, how it will be helpful. Okay. Now, after getting idea about this innovation and invention, now we will move towards a creativity. Now, this creativity you will appreciate immediately, because creativity is a art in a science, creativity is a what we can say result. If you do in a art domain, that creativity is exhibited, you will what we can say produce so many copyrighted material, right. That will be outcome if you are in a art industry, this film industry and publishing industry is there. Then the if you are in photography, you know, in the copyright we will see, we are going to see what is the subject matter of copyright. But if you do in that art domain, particular exhibited, that creativity is exhibited, it will be there will be a lot of copyright generation. And if you do this creativity in technology, lot of patents you can generate, and lot of industrial design, there is a possibility. You can see industrial design, I can give a simple example, that you see very so many car designs, and what we can say, the car automobile industry, if any organization you take, probably they will purposefully stop the production of particular car and bring a next or new model of a that car. So, they appreciate that, they follow that S curve, that before maturity comes about that particular first product, they will launch the next product. So, it is like a and these are like a industrial design is a protection which is used for such kind of a output of a creativity. Now, before going into details of that creativity, we will just watch a interesting video. Okay, so you have probably you have enjoyed this video. Okay, it was a very good example of innovation. So, moving further, when we are talking about a creativity, you are talking about creativity. So, if you see here, creativity is a generating a original ideas. So, some original ideas are there. Novelty is not enough here. Creativity must be adaptive. In a sense, you may have a very what we can say novel way by which you are solving the problem. Your product is novel, maybe your service is novel, but if that is not adapted, it is not feasible to accept in the market, and this is a very common problem. Sometimes what happens, you create some machine, I am just giving you the example, that you create some machine, say generator or some motor, something like that as an engineer, and you want to make a very nice way of a presentation of that particular product, because it is in the market, your that industrial design is very important, and therefore you design it in a certain way. So, you apply your creativity in a certain way, but if that creativity is a costly, if it is not acceptable, if it is creating hindrance in the process which you are solving the problem, probably that creativity will not be accepted. So, novelty is not only enough, you have to be that creativity must be adaptive creative. Then it should be appropriate to situation and problem, whatever in what situation and in whatever the problem you are under consideration, it should be appropriate, that creativity should be appropriate to do that particular thing, you can appreciate that particular thing. Creativity is nothing but connecting and rearranging of a knowledge. You whatever you have gained that knowledge because of your experience and your learning, that is exhibited when we are talking about a creativity. Now, this creativity I can say that it is in the minds of a people, we can say that particular way, that it is in the minds of people who will allow themselves to think in a different way. You are thinking in a very different way, and then by that different thinking you are giving a solutions. It is like a generating new, often surprising ideas that others judge or they will say that, oh, it is a very innovative way or it is very useful. That will be the expression of other people. That new developments result into the new knowledge and a invention. That is always happening, that whatever that developments are there, that new knowledge will be created, inventions will be created. Now, moving further, individuals are unique in terms of capabilities. So, here we have to appreciate that as each has a different ways of expressing. So, all will have a capacity to create, but express this potential differently. So, we can say that talent, knowledge, values, interest, these are always different with the individual, and based on these 4 factors creativity is exhibited. Now, next is like we become very creative with our own unique blend of 4 styles like visioning, exploring, experimenting and modifying. Generally we are applying these ways, right, for the creativity. So, actually we all are creative in one sense, everybody is creative. Now, check this background, whatever you are seeing here. Now, this in the background, what is it? Don't you think that this is a very creative way of marketing with effective use of technology? You can see that industrial design protections, then shelf management, a variety of what we can say confectionery items are there, which are placed here in a very specific way. They have used technology, a very colorful confectionery, you can see that chocolates or whatever you want to say, and that snack, some few snacks items are there, but they have presented it in a very nice way. It is a shelf management actually, and they have used a technology. So, that effective use of technology, they have taken into consideration customer psychology also. So, all these things are exhibited in this background, right. So, if you go into the mall or any shop like this Walmart, you can see that they are using customer psychology, shelf management, and then based on that they are placing the products so that they can achieve their purpose, like customer should buy things which he require and probably things which he may not require. This generally happens when you visit malls and all. So, moving further, please note, people are inherently creative. So, already we have accepted that. People do not recognize when or how they are being creative. So, they fail to recognize the many opportunities. There are many opportunities of creativity that arise in your jobs or daily basis, and sometimes we may not attain that particular thing. So, these are, when we talk about creativity, it may be idea creativity, it may be a material creativity, it may be organization creativity, it may be relation creativity, event creativity, inner creativity or spontaneous creativity. Any of these types of creativity are there. Probably you come across all these types every day, or already you have experienced that particular thing, but now I guess you will appreciate or attain this creativity aspect, and probably you will think that okay, how it will be very useful for my entrepreneurial activity. So, you need that to appreciation of this particular kinds of what we can say creativity. Now, observe your daily activities also. Many times you try to optimize certain things, and when you are doing that optimization, you become very creative with a very interesting innovative solutions to the simple what we can say activities which you are doing, or there may be some serious problem and you have to handle. You are always creative. So, many times it is said creativity is often a explosion rather than a logical sequence of information, right. So, sometimes it is said that frustration is often the father of creativity, or it is said that creativity often kicks in when you reject your first acceptable solution, right. At that time also you will be very, what we can say, creative. The more you use creative power, better it will work. So, you can be creative at any age. Yeah, it is creativity fun sometimes to be fun, it is rewarding, and it is what we can say, you may enjoy the output of a creativity. So, moving further, you can see that we have seen the creativity, invention, innovation. So, before starting, I requested you that you just ponder if innovation, invention and creativity are same. You are knowing all these things, right. So, you know all these things, that is innovation, invention and creativity, right. I just put it in a certain way. Now, you will just try to attain that inventive activities you are doing, innovative activities you are doing, or creative activities you are doing very attentively. You can just observe that, and in an entrepreneurial activity, you if observe it very carefully, you will not miss a potential IP in that particular what we can say, the outcome of that particular activity. So, we have to be very alert in that particular point. We have to anticipate the potential IP, because one caution is there, if we not anticipate IP in time, we may lose the priority, that is a major loss is there, and sometimes we do not what we can say, appreciate the potential of our output. We, according to us, it may be very common thing, and and organizations are facing various problems. I cannot take name of the organization, but I can give you the simple example here. It is a big organization in the country, but the example is very important here. So, they are in electrical engineering domain, and they are very good in industrial design, and the product is like electrical appliances, and they have created a very what we can say, unique design for a fan. I am giving you the product, what the product is. So, they have developed that particular unique design of a fan, but they could not appreciate the potential of that particular product, that that they not appreciated that industrial design protection is necessary for this particular fan, and they missed that protection. But what the thing happened, that in the market, whenever you are going into the market, what is happening? You are visiting a mall, that your fan is there along with 10 other fans, and your industrial design is make that customer, maybe that design appeals, and based on that appeal, and again the technological factors are there, but that makes customer to buy that product, and the such a big organization, but they could not appreciate the innovation, because probably what happens, sometimes we are in such a innovative mode continuously that we may not appreciate that, oh, this is something I should take care, it can be IP protected, it can give me wealth. That's something you probably miss, and the problem, or the what we can say, this organization faced the issue like within few days, I am not talking about a months also, after launching this product, within few days many competitors copied that fan design, and you can understand the loss because of that particular what we can say, non protection of a industrial design. So, industrial design, yes, definitely makes a difference in the, you can just see in the background here, you can see different kinds of chocolates, very different colors, very different what we can say, the shape. Probably that psychology of a customer is important. Some people will like that particular shape, some color, and that may make them compulsive to buy that particular product. So, we have to be very careful about that industrial design IP. There are obviously patent, copyright, but industrial design also plays a very important role when we are talking about a entrepreneurial activity. So, can I say that these three are important in entrepreneurship: innovation, invention and creativity. So, with this we come to the end of this session. In the next session probably we will go a little bit deeper about innovation and we will try to understand what are the different types of what we can say the innovation are there. Thank you.